Welcome to Nora Christine Live. We have Gray Mars here, and we are part of the new party team. Today, we will be breaking down the final day that we anticipate of Cassie's testimony. As you may or may not know, the judge has given a hard deadline to the defense to wrap up on Cassie end of day today. You might be thinking, why? She's 8 months pregnant. That's why. So, they are saying today is supposed to be the final day. Also, reports have come out that Don Richards and possibly Audrey O'Day will be testifying. Gray, what's your thoughts on the fact that they have Cassie testifying at 8 months pregnant?
I think it's crazy, but I mean they can't stop the trial just because somebody's pregnant. That's basically how I feel about it.
Exactly. So, some updates that have come out today. Lots and lots of things came out during cross examination. Ventura, who previously testified that Combs had blackmailed her, she testified again today. Hold on, guys. Um, So sorry, something weird happened on my screen. I apologize. So today, this was her day 4 of testimony. They say it's supposed to wrap up. She's accused Diddy of rape, beating and blackmailing her and forcing her into drug fueled freak off marathons during their 11-year relationship. Diddy's lawyer Mark called Ventura the most important witness in a very important case on Thursday after she was made to read hundreds of shockingly sexually explicit and loving text messages between her and Diddy when they dated. She was also grilled by another one of his attorneys, Anna Estevano. Right now, he's pled not guilty to one count of racketeering conspiracy, two counts of S trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and two counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He faces life in prison if convicted. 15 minutes ago, we found out that Diddy was wearing a sweater. He's putting on glasses to view exhibits. Apparently Diddy is very gray. Do you think that this helps or hurts him with him looking so older and gray?
It could go two ways. People may feel sympathy and say, "Oh, I don't want to see a person die in prison because if he gets convicted of racketeering, is most likely is basically a life sentence." It may also be that if Cassie looks younger, they may feel like, "Oh, this was an older man taking advantage over a young girl," and
That's a
it
good
may
point.
hurt him.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
those are good points, Gray. And they say his sons were present in the courtroom, but today the daughters weren't. I mean, finally, I don't know why they were there before, but to keep in mind, guys, his daughters are 18 now. They were 16, 17 at the time when he was arrested. They are now grown adults. So, I mean, it's kind of sad that they're there, but at the same time, it's kind of really not because they're adults. During testimony about her stint in rehab, some jurors appeared bored, with one in particular taking notes, looking like he was zoned out. Other jurors, taking hard notes. Cassie underwent same trauma therapy used by Prince Harry. It's come out. She underwent mental health treatment at the Willow House facility for 45 days in 2023 and underwent the same therapy that Prince Harry did. She told jurors that while at the facility, she underwent eye movement desensitization and reprocessing treatment, which is part of trauma therapy. My understanding is it helps me recount memories and process them. Gray, have you ever heard of this therapy? Do you think it helps?
no, I haven't heard of it. What was it supposed to do?
Supposedly to help her recount memories.
I think that that should hurt her testimony. If you're using any type of artificial help or medication and you're basically going on trial against someone, I don't feel like that's fair.
Right.
That's
That
like
that's true.
that's like using hypnosis or something on somebody.
No, you're right. That's a good point right there. Um, let's see what else came out from today. Cassie threatens to kill man who says he saw her S tape and audio played to jury. Jurors heard a clip of an audio recording from 2014 when Cassie was screaming and threatening to kill a man. Oops. Was threatening to kill a man that had tapes of her. Ventura could be heard attempting to get more information out of the man about the alleged video he'd viewed, but when he wouldn't divulge helpful details, she went off. I will kill you if you don't show me right now. Ventura could be heard yelling in the audio, I will cut you up and put you in the effing dirt right now. Hmm. Gray, what you think about that? Does that help or hurt her?
I mean, it makes her not seem innocent if you're trying to do violence. And I know I've seen the whole campaign against Cassie, and I feel like that's basically what's going to happen. Like they're going to bring up everything they were together for a long time. This wasn't just like a spur of the moment relationship. This relationship lasted quite some time. So it isn't just going to be just Cassie looks the greatest, especially if Sean Diddy Combs, also known as P Diddy, is bringing up messages and emails and things of that nature from years ago.
Exactly. I mean, listen, this guy's fighting for his life here, guys. Like, we need to be a little understanding. I understand that they want her off the stand, but I'm sure they have lots of stuff to turn on her the way she turned on him. She said, "Put that shit up right now." The recording continued. "I'm tired of you talking s right now. It's going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it." So again, I what did I tell you, Gray? I said if he buried bodies, she knows where they're buried, and I think she condoned it. I don't think she's this innocent little sunflower that was being taken advantage of. This further proves everything I've said about her, guys. I said, listen, Diddy is not an angel. He's not a saint. I didn't say he was, but neither is she, and that's what I thought. Ventura messaged Diddy Combs what the man told her, and Combs told her not to let him out of your sight. This seemed to be an attempt by the defense to show that Diddy didn't want the FO tapes to get out either, contradicting Ventura's claims he threatened to release the tapes. Gray, I mean, come on now. They wore disguises in some of these. Do you believe he really was going to leak them, or do you think this was coercion to get her to shut up and do what he wanted?
Thank you to everybody watching on TikTok. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Hug. Shout out to Destiny. Um, Destino Maria. Thank you to everybody. Like the live. Get us on the For You page.
Yeah.
I think that he possibly would have. I feel like Diddy was very obsessed with Cassie and that he was willing to do
Hmm.
anything for the relationship. He blew up a car. He also was said that if Cassie was in the studio making music with anyone, that the guys had to look at the ground and could never actually let their eyes touch Cassie. So it's very possible that Diddy would have blackmailed her. I mean, I feel like she's blackmailing him right now, and all the stuff, things that they did that were just so wild and crazy. I'm pretty sure them of all people know the most secrets and things about each other. But I want to also comment on what you said about the daughters because I actually had the daughters pop up in my Instagram feed. And yesterday, I don't know why, but they shared a picture of Kim Porter and they did a very loving message towards their mother.
Oh, I know why, because it came out in the text message when they talk about Kim. They talked about Kim in those text messages. And she frequently mentioned Kim because she was extremely jealous of Kim. Because, baby, you would never be what Kim was. Kim was the mother of his kids. Kim wasn't in there doing freak offs with him. That's why he kept this freak hoe around because she was willing to do the freak offs. And she was the side piece to Kim. That's why they put those messages out there. She was the side piece. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Kim was truly the love of his life, but you should have did right by Kim, Diddy. You should have married her. And allegedly, they say you had something to do with her death. I don't know how true that is, but again, I hit the allegedly next to it. He didn't do right by Kim Porter. I feel more bad for Kim Porter than I do her. But hold on, continue on. I got to do something real quick.
I'm gonna be dropping a documentary on Diddy. It's probably gonna be a 4-part series. We're gonna get into the origins of Diddy. Diddy mentor was Clive Davis
Are we done?
and some other people. Let me put her on mute with what she has going on. But I'm gonna be dropping that. Oh, I can't because she's on her side. I'm gonna be dropping that. But the Diddy case is extremely crazy. I think I can show what his daughters put out so you guys can see it what I was talking about. I don't see it here, but seems like Nora's having some stuff going on. So let's just talk about what is going on with the Diddy trial right now. So 7 minutes ago, and I'll pull this up for you guys. Let me share my screen. So here, what we know so far is that Cassie faced cross examination from the defense as they asked her questions about her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, her drug use, and whether she was jealous. During cross examination, Ventura, who previously testified about blackmail concerns around freak-off videos, said she could understand that Combs' career was ruined by her 2023 lawsuit. The testimony frequently includes graphic allegations involving physical and violence, including Ventura accusing Combs of rape. Combs has already pleaded not guilty to 5 charges, including ex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, a main part of which involves his employees to facilitate illegal activities. So the defense is now being accused of basically dragging out the testimony. The prosecutor submitted a letter to the judge saying that they're dragging out Ventura's time on a stand. The government submitted the letter and allowed cross examination of Ms. Ventura. Prosecutors say both sides agreed to wrap up their testimony on Friday, but they have filed more than 400 exhibits that appear to be strategic by choice by the defense that delayed the government's ability to lodge objections and predictability and significantly delayed the proceedings during the first day of cross examination yesterday. Ventura is 8.5 months pregnant, so she's about to have the baby with her third child and has been seen rubbing her stomach at times. So I didn't know that she had 2 previous kids. I'm assuming that that's with her husband now because I know her and Diddy didn't have any children. Also, the defendant said she could not afford the opportunity to be cross examined over the weekend and that it was at risk of a mistrial if she went into labor. So basically, if she goes into labor, they can take away, it could be a complete mistrial. I don't know why this isn't on the screen. I mean, did she make it so that I couldn't share my screen? Um, I don't know why this isn't popping up.
I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Gray. I'm doing work on my house, guys. I apologize. That was the contractor. What did you want us to present?
I already showed it.
Oh, okay. So it did pop up.
Go
I
ahead.
have to give you probably hosting. Sorry, guys. Thank you. We got about 146 people in here. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We are going to be taking phone calls 407 602 8114. 407 602 8114. Hi, Dark Ken. Thank you for watching. Thanks, guys, for holding it down, having Gray hold it down and stay with us. I apologize, guys. Man, contractors, they always find extra stuff, right? Everybody got to get paid. And that's my whole point with Cassie. Everybody got to get paid. I don't think she was this victim. I still stand on that. And today further proves, they named a bunch of people she cheated on him with. Okay. Um, Gray, what do you think? I mean, do you think she's a victim? Like, what's your thoughts? Are you still on her side? Like, what do you think?
So they were saying there's questions about her therapy, and it says questions that return of Ventura's treatment and whether she understood it was for PTSD. She said she did not do a lot of somatic experience in therapy, which is basically
Hmm.
just complete trauma that's been cut off. She was asked if that meant reimagining the traumatic experiences. And she said
Yeah.
everything, including her brain and body, every woman continues to develop after age 22. And the courthouse was briefly locked down. So they said they spoke about the place where Ventura went for treatment for her ex addiction and her love addiction. And then she was
Hmm.
treated for those. And meanwhile, outside the courtroom, the courthouse itself was placed on a brief lockdown. No mention of it was made inside the courtroom. The lockdown was lifted about 10 minutes later. So I didn't know that.
Okay. So they said that the next person that's going to take the stand is an anonymous woman known as Jane. Allegedly, I'm hearing from academics he has inside scoop that they're thinking that this woman could possibly be 50 Cent's baby mama. They're saying that she dated Combs in 2020, and she's slated to tell the jury about how she was expected to have sex with escorts without a condom against her wishes. She will describe a horrific night when Combs viciously attacked her, punched her in the face while she was curled up in the ball on the ground, and slapped her so hard she fell over. Another victim, Mia, who worked for Combs as his personal assistant for several years, will testify about being forced to perform oral S on Combs and also being raped by him, according to prosecutors. Other witnesses slated to testify are male S workers who participated in Combs' FOs, SROMs, and former employees of his companies. Audrey O'Day has also been subpoenaed to testify. You know, she hates him, by the way, Audrey.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got to hear more. I got to hear these other people, but Cassie to me is not it. She's just not it. Yeah, Gray's on Cassie's side.
Why do you feel like she's not it?
I just don't. I think this was 11 years of abuse on both ends. I think she was abusive to him, and I think he was abusive to her. The reason why I say on her end is she cheated on him. He would
But
introduce her to someone, she would sleep with them. Like,
but just because you cheat on somebody doesn't necessarily mean that like you're guilty of something.
right,
Lots of
but
people cheat.
right, but that just shows that they're both abusive to each other. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was a toxic relationship.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was a toxic relationship. It had all these things that they were taking, and then they were bringing people to their relationship. And it wasn't even like positive bringing in people. They were using people basically as objects, and it's basically saying that someone was recording them, and the defense brought up a reality television show that followed escorts and alleged that one of the escorts made comments on a picture of Combs Ventura and said they hadn't seen it on the show. The defense also said asked if she wanted to make sure the escorts she hired were discreet, and that's all you said, that she threatened the man and the aftermath of the hotel incident. And I guess he took her phone, and then she said, "I'm not a rag doll of someone's child." And there was a video that I wanted to show, and I don't know if you can play it. I can probably find it, but I put it in the
Find it.
chat on the new party. But I think this is something you definitely want to see. Um, but go ahead.
Okay. So to break it up, guys, I do have some videos, but we are taking phone calls. Please hit the like button if you're watching. Hit the like button. We have 180 people watching across all networks. I need to see some likes on X. I know y'all are watching on X, over 100 of you. So hit the like button. Hit the like button on YouTube. Tap the screen on TikTok. Tap, tap, tap. We got to stay on the For You page. So I want to see some taps, guys. So I do have some videos to play. I have a phone call with Suge Knight. He called in to Chris Cuomo's show. Let me share my screen so we can listen to this phone call, because if y'all recall, allegedly he took a G and went to go meet up with where the restaurant Suge was at. Let's hear what he has to say.
Do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure. Don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So what's the worry?
You think the president of the United States would pardon Sean Combs
Yes,
for sex
I
trafficking?
agree.
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who allegedly killed a Jewish teenager or had him killed. So they don't care about that. It's all about, what's in it for the long run and what the bucks say and what the power of the people want.
Do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure.
So yeah, you heard it there first. He's saying he thinks that Trump is going to pardon him. He thinks that the jury is cooked and rigged. Gray, do you think that Trump is going to pardon Diddy? They are old friends.
Trump is corrupt. Trump is also for
Oh
sale.
my God.
So yeah, if Diddy gets with the right people and can get the money to Trump where it's discreet, he'll be pardoned. Anybody, and this is if anybody's watching that has any family members or friends locked up, Trump is for sale. I'm not. You didn't hear this from me, but if you have the
She
means,
didn't hear this from Nora
you,
Christine.
you can contact Trump, and you can probably buy your freedom away, whatever you want. Like if the guys over in the Middle East can buy Trump, so can you.
Not true. Trump's not for sale. Oh, Lord. Marty said, pretty sure Epstein couldn't buy Trump when it came to S offense S, but okay. Thank you, Marty. Exactly.
Can
Shout
I
out to
respond
Marty.
to that? Marty,
Yeah, go ahead.
the reason Trump couldn't because he's on the tapes. So Trump had to
Yep.
and
Allegedly. This is
allegedly
Gray Mar's opinion.
allegedly. So allegedly Epstein disappeared rather conveniently for a lot of people on those tapes. As one person rather conveniently has the power of the government.
Oh
So
my
I
gosh.
mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I have another video I'd like to
Hold on,
play.
let me show you this. I want you to see this.
Okay.
Sorry,
Where is it?
before. This is gonna be a good one.
Add to the screen.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's on the stage.
All right, now watch what this guy says.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you said that they had an abusive relationship that went both ways. Like you said, in the car, she punched him in the face with a ring on that, I guess, cut him.
No, I didn't cut him.
I didn't cut him, but it left an impression,
Right.
on his face. And both of them were hit each other, but him more than her.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say, when I say hit each other, I'm going to say it's one or two incidents she hit back. But let's be real, Vlad. I've had fights with my wife, you know what I'm saying? And she can hit me. It's nothing compared if I was to hit her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say that they have an abusive relationship, I say sometimes she did fight back. But when I say fight back, this is after years.
Yeah.
This wasn't like the beginning, because at the beginning she would just ball up and crawl up. And to see him hit her would be like, you mad about something else. Like, what are you really mad about? You know what I'm saying? And it became a point where, like, even everything that they talk about, like, you wouldn't know that all of this was going on because the immediate crew thought that was wifey. Like, she was off, nobody could say nothing to Cassie. So it was like,
Ray, who is he?
It's times to me and him talk. And he would say, "Oh, Barnes, I don't know what to do." I said, "What you mean you don't know what to do?" It's
Okay.
a time where I'm gonna have to make a decision between Kim and Cassie. You know what I'm saying? Shorty want to get married. You know what I'm saying? And I remember one specific time he asked me that. We was in the Hamptons, and I gave him an answer. And I said, even though you love Cassie, I said, Kim is your ride or die. She got the kids. And what I didn't know was, and he didn't know, is that he butt down Cassie. And the next week, Cassie came and told me, she said, "Bonds, I heard you." I said, "You heard what?" She said, "I heard you tell Puff to take Kim over me." And I was like, she said, "Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And we never spoke about it again,
Well, yeah. I mean, from people I talked to that were close to Puff, they all told me that Puff refused to get married because he loved his money too much. And he couldn't comprehend potentially getting a divorce and splitting some of his money.
He told me that out of his own mouth. He said, "I'm not giving nobody 50% of what I got."
Yeah. From people I've talked to that were around Cassie during this time.
In relation to Diddy.
Married
Great, because
Puffy.
who he is.
And I remember
bodyguard?
a private conversation I had with someone, an executive that everybody knows. They were, basically hanging out one day, and he said the whole time, the whole ride back was, "Hey, can you convince your friend Puffy to marry me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get married. I'm tired of just being his girlfriend. You know, can you talk to him, convince him to get married? She wanted to marry him, but he never wanted to marry her.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, and, you know, during these abusive situations, you would sometimes take Cassie to the hospital.
Yes.
To the Beverly Hills Hospital, and you would go the back door.
The back entrance, yes.
Okay. And
it's been times that I took her there, and it's been times I took Diddy there. Where I don't know if it's called the overdose. I don't know, whatever you call it underneath them circumstances. But it was times that I had to take him through the back door for there also.
Okay. And the hospital basically just asked no questions? No questions.
It was like it was already taken care of through his staff.
Wow. Okay. And during this time, and you had kind of hinted at this before, Puffy asked what Cassie called her father and her grandfather, and that was Pop Pop?
Pop Pop, yes.
And he had her call him that.
Right. Right. And she would say it over the PA system and everything else, Pop Pop. And he got off on that. And I believe one time he was on the phone with the father and said, this is my daughter now. She called me Pop Pop. She called me Dad.
That's always been weird to me, man. You know.
So how do you feel about him telling the father, she calls me daddy now?
Yeah, because he was paying her bills. So yeah, sure, whatever. But I mean, it also came out today that she was cheating on him with an NFL player. Do you have any guess on who you think it could be?
It's too many NFL players for me to. Is it a household name?
I don't know. She wouldn't reveal the name. The athlete's identity wasn't revealed, but Ventura confirmed he was a professional NFL player at the time. He was upset when he suspected you of cheating, right? I don't know if I would call it cheating at that point. Yeah, because she was effing around. Dude, Chris Brown, I mean, Michael B. Jordan, the list is endless with this girl. So it's like, listen, I don't think it's justified to beat nobody. But at the same time, it's like, come on now. Like, she wasn't this innocent flower. If she was so scared of him, why would she cheat on him, Gray? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't believe it.
I mean, people cheat for all kinds of different reasons. Some people cheat. For me, I've always said this. Women cheat for emotions. Guys, they cheat just for superficial reasons. So,
right.
That's why guys be much more upset when a woman cheat, because they know that the girl really liked that guy. So that's why guys be upset. And that's why you see Diddy so controlling, so crazy about it. But think about it. Think about an average person, just not Cassie. How many women do you know, right? Think about it. How many women do you know that it's basically like the dude want something physical, but he's still healing from whatever chick or his baby mama or his ex-wife or whatever. And the woman that's there in front of him, he doesn't even see as like a good thing, or it's like somebody to be with.
Right. You got any other videos? I got to go get my charger.
That was the main one that I had. Do you have one to play before you go get it?
Yeah, let me set it up. All right, guys. So this video that I'm gonna play, it has to do with the it has to do with the guy that they supposedly had a freak off with. Let me share my screen.
Please like
the
the
guy
live.
that,
Go ahead, my bad.
oh, go ahead, keep going.
Please like the live, subscribe to the new party, subscribe to Nora Christine Live.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, and make sure we're tapping is clapping if you're watching. Let me hit play. Can you see it, Gray?
Yeah, just let it play.
Because I got along well with her, and I think she's a decent person. And unfortunately, I had a suspicion that she was in a situation that she was in, but I wasn't sure. And now I understand what was going on in her life and what was happening. And him beating her up in the hotel shows me the type of individual he is, and confirms that everything that happened to me was true and correct and in line with his personality.
So is speaking to us from a Miami jail now. Here is how Odie says it all began for him.
I was a male Chippendale, a model Chippendale, you could say. And they called me for a show for, they called the agency that I work for to do a show. And then I went and did a show, and things led to them offering me more money to perform sexual acts. And that's it. That's how I basically got started. I get dressed like a police officer, I do a show, I do a strip down, and then, they offer me some more money. They offer me some more money to do some extra stuff.
So Odie did get specific about the extra stuff that he says Diddy wanted from him. And these specifics were consistent with what he told law enforcement during the 2014 interrogation. Here is how he describes the atmosphere and how frequently it happened.
Candles, sensual atmosphere, lights off. He would sit in a corner in a sofa, watch and masturbate. And he'd say, he'd tell her, give her instructions what to do to me. Perform oral sex, rub baby oil. Then he'd tell me rub baby oil, perform oral sex, and then have sex.
How many times did you have sex with Cassie?
Probably like 15 sessions.
And what did you get paid? How much?
It would be like 800 each time, each act. But sometimes they'll call me twice. I'll leave, and then 3 hours later, they would call me, come back.
And so Odie claimed that the sessions were drug-fueled and that his concern for both Cassie and himself led him to get one of their sessions on video. Listen to what he says about that.
Why did you decide to record a video?
Because after she passed out, I decided to record that. So in the event anything worse happened, like if she died, or anybody died, it will be on camera, it will be on video, what happened. So I wouldn't be responsible for any of that.
All right, guys. So yeah, pretty much. Someone wrote you back, right? They said they want you to answer. I told him to call in.
Okay.
He said in response to you earlier, well, then how come he didn't expose the tapes when he told him he wasn't allowed back at any of his establishments anymore? I told the guy to call in. So if he wants your answer, he needs to call in because we are taking phone calls.
Okay.
407-602-8114, 407-602-8114. And then Dark Kent says that it sounds like the guy was reading a script. I'm not buying the guy.
Cap.
An exotic dancer.
Cap. That's why I wish I had the sound so I could just press cap. He's lying.
Where's the sounds?
You are the one on the software. You're the person hosting. You're supposed to be doing it. You're supposed to be like ding ding.
Oh yeah, Kelly. Shout out to Kelly Corinne. She sent me a camera and a soundboard, so I should have them soon.
Okay,
Next
nice.
show. So yeah, 356 people are watching across all networks. I need to see some likes. I don't see any likes on X. I need you guys to hit the heart, hit the likes. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. On X, tapping is clapping. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah, so lots that can be said still. He was supposedly one of the porn stars, sex workers. What was wild to me is the fact that she was having sex with these people without condoms. And talking to the sex expert we had on yesterday that's a swinger, she said that that's not normal. Gray, what do you think about that?
I don't agree with what she said in that instance, because if I'm out there doing that, I'm going to want the full experience. But I would want to protect myself, so I would want to know the other person is clean. Diddy was a freak, and with most freaks, they want the full experience. So I think that if it's just random and you probably didn't get to know the person like in normal monogamous relationships, you probably will say, "Hey, I don't want to move forward. I need protection." But if you build or bond a relationship with people, and these are sex workers, so to me, it's probably like one night stand. So I feel like protection should have been automatic. Like this isn't just a friend or a date or even a friend with benefit situation.
Supposedly, what ended the relationship was not what he said at the funeral. They're saying that what ended it for her was finding a photo of him and some woman named Gina. I just don't trust anymore. She wrote the last shot, put the nail in the coffin. Combs tried to avert the breakup. Can I get a not get a chance to make things right? He messaged her. It seems like you're blaming everything on me. I haven't taken care of you, question mark. You took care of me materialistically, not where I needed it. But that seems to be a trend with him because remember when J-Lo made that song, My Love Don't Cost a Thing? Like that seems to be a trend with them, like with him. And he's a great provider but not great emotionally, and he doesn't want to get married. Gray, what's your thoughts?
It makes perfect sense to me. I basically feel like Cassie was bought and paid for. Diddy didn't want
Not bought and
anything
paid
like.
for.
I mean that was the situation, and Diddy didn't want anything serious. I mean,
Right.
Diddy was successful, and he had already made it to this level. So I felt like it would be hard for him to say, okay, now somebody I found while I was already big. I'm older.
Hmm.
I'm gonna now marry this person, and I feel like that was a big mistake on Diddy's part because Cassie left over a woman. Both stories are okay. One woman was his soulmate or he took a picture with a woman. It was all over a woman. So what people aren't saying is she didn't leave because of the abuse. She left because of
Oh,
jealousy and
you
like
just hit
it was
that.
other women.
Say it again.
Yeah, she didn't leave over abuse. She left over situations with women. So go ahead.
Mm, If you guys are watching on X or TikTok and you want to add to our live conversation, please go to our YouTube at the new party, and go give us a follow, and you can add to the conversation. Also, if you want to verbally call in, you can. We're taking phone calls 407-602-8114. There are 375 people watching 407-602-8114. Please give us a call. We want to hear from you. We don't want to do all the talking. Let us know what you think. Is Cassie innocent or is she a freak hoe? Like I'm saying, like I don't think that this is it for me. Like I don't know. Like I'm not convinced that she's this bad of a person. I mean, I have another video. There's someone new that came out, guys. I have another bodyguard speaking. I'd like to share it if you're okay with that, Gray. His name's Big
Yeah.
Home. He went on Paris Morgan yesterday. So this is more current, recent bodyguard coming out. Let's see what he has to say.
I mean, there's a lot of speculation about what he may have kept on tape. And I think you've talked about the fact a lot of these guys like to keep trophies, memorabilia, sort of
Absolutely.
souvenirs of their depravity, if you like. Just tell me about that briefly. I mean, was that part of the modus operandi for the freak offs and everything?
Yeah, so what I'll say is throughout my career path, we may end up with a pedophile's phone. And in that phone, you'll see a list of trophies. And when it was announced that he had CCTV film cameras in the house, and when the Homeland Security did the initial raid, they didn't inform the raiding officers whose home they were raiding because they had information that he might have been protected. And, part of Epstein's thing was to get people in precarious situations, and then you have this footage that you can use against them to be able to have your way with champions of industry and able to control policy. He does the same thing.
Of
So,
course he does.
if you want to be able to seal a big deal and there's a guy likes to party, it's easy to set that up. You know, you send a guy a screenshot like, yeah, man, you had such a good time with those 2 underage girls yesterday, man. You remember this video right here? That person is going to have some incentive to help you out in what you need them to do. It's the same. We've seen this over and over.
So essentially, what he's saying is Diddy was the Black Epstein. Gray, do you agree with that? What's your thoughts?
For the record, I watched that guy's content. He's more like a Jaguar, right? Yeah, you see him by with other celebs. You can't necessarily believe everything he says. He has a big beef with Dwight Howard. He said that he was bodyguarding somebody. He went to a house where celebrities were partying, and then he accidentally went in a room, and he saw Dwight Howard inside of another man, and he had a wig or something on. So Dwight Howard made a video saying he never heard of him, that he doesn't know who he is. So like, I just want to tell our viewers that because we're putting that out there. Is it possible Diddy got footage of people and tried to blackmail them, catching them in compromising positions? Of course, it's possible. Diddy has been known to be like someone you don't want to do business with. I mean, the artist goes on and on and on and on. Think about all the artists he had issues with money. Biggie, The Lox, Jadakiss. I think MGK had some issues with Diddy, French Montana, like anybody that signed the Bad Boy, Craig Mack. He had an issue at the label. So if Diddy will steal money and Diddy's been accused of taking Biggie's life and Tupac's life, do I think he'll delete somebody, have somebody delete it? Will he record somebody? Of course. Diddy's been said to be a part of people being deleted. So recording somebody is a misdemeanor.
Wow. This is rough. I mean, I want to see the tapes. Where's the tapes? Like, why are we not talking about these tapes? Where's the tapes? Seems like the only tape he had was Cassie. Do you think Cassie's the only one on the tapes that's a celebrity?
No, I think Diddy probably was he's a voyeur by nature. So he's a cuckold. He likes to watch. So he likes to watch his one with other men. So do I think that he may have wanted to, be alone and to relive those moments through watching it visually and listening to it? Absolutely. So you're already a voyeur. So you probably want to keep track of those sessions, as well as you're in the entertainment industry. So you're used to like creative media. So, I mean, the biggest difference from people recording now and corn is that it's a big difference, but that media is the most watched media out of any media out there. It doesn't matter how many podcasts, how many news, movies you put out there. The most thing that human beings watch is that industry.
I don't know. People are starting to speak out and say what I'm saying, that this is a railroad of a case, that Cassie's not a victim. There's thousands of people that agree with me. I'm seeing it all over social media. But I mean, there's many more that want to paint her as this victim. Um, I think he wasn't a good guy, but if this is the best they got, I'm not convinced. I would say not guilty. And how do you have a RICO case with one person involved? Where's the rest of the RICO people?
Okay, so let's say it's not guilty, right? Is his reputation over? Like, what
Of
happens
course.
after this? So he just returns home and it's just like hated. The hip hop community doesn't embrace him anymore. Like, he's just thrown out to the wolves.
I guess so. I guess that's what they want.
I mean, is he homosexual?
Do you think he's a homo? I mean, he enjoyed watching hundreds of men sleep with his women.
I don't necessarily think that makes you that, but I haven't heard him actually engaging in acts with a man. All I've heard is him watching and her body, because like he's getting like completely trashed, completely inebriated, like, and then you're just watching. You're like it is after she done. Do you and her then have a session? Like, so
Yeah,
like
that was the routine. It was the session with the dude. He would eat ejaculate in her. Then he would take it, smear it on himself on his chest. Then he would have a session with her and then rinse and repeat up to 4 days.
And so they would leave the sex worker there.
Correct. And they go have their private time in a room.
I mean, to me, that the wildest part is that I would want the sex worker to leave. I would be like, okay, you know, I'm finished. Take your money and go. Like, we'll see you later.
Really? That's what you want?
No,
That's what you want?
why would you want the
Oh
person
my
to be
God.
sitting there like after
No,
that?
they do it for days on end.
So they go take a break, then they get started again.
So guess what? They're digging deep now on the grape allegation. Remember, the last time she supposedly saw her, she alleges he raped her. They went out to eat at a romantic restaurant. He supposedly forced his way in the house because at the time she was dating her now husband. And so they're digging in on her. She didn't remember the exact wording of her statement. I don't remember the word force, but maybe. She's then asked about meeting with investigators in November 2023, shortly after filing the lawsuit again alleging rape. Ventura said Gomes was acting strangely at dinner, but didn't remember it, telling investigators he seemed anxious or what she didn't think was in his mind. The defense showed an August 2018 text message, allegedly from Ventura saying, "Hit me up when you can," but she said she didn't recognize it. So, I mean, was she raped or was she not, Gray? What do you think?
I have a big problem overall when people say that and they are in a relationship. Because I'm not saying that it's like it doesn't happen, because I know most victims know their accuser or predator or whatever you want to call it. But I don't necessarily like when it's like the person has a relationship with the person, then later on the person says that they were great. And so, like, even though that they were broken up and everything like that, it's like, how many times have they been together intimately prior to that? Probably thousands and thousands of times. And then this situation happened. And then now she says that she was great. Not saying that Diddy didn't do it or that he's innocent. I'm just saying I don't like those type of cases.
Wow. Yeah. And now they're fighting over how long they're going to keep her for, because if this is their star witness, they should be given the same amount of time. And in a defense of the defense, they should not have interviewed those first two people before Cassie. They should have did her first, gave them the full week if they're only giving them a week, which I understand she's very pregnant. So that's kind of unfair.
Yeah, you missed the part where I said that she's 8 months pregnant, and they're saying that they're not done with her as she goes into labor. It could be a mistrial. So if she goes into labor, it's a mistrial. So the defense,
how is it a mistrial?
I have to pull it back up, but that's what they were basically referring to. But go ahead, I'll pull it up and explain it.
Yeah, she's not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. Because of the way he beat her up. Now that I do feel bad for her, because clearly he's very bigger than her. But he's not on trial for domestic violence. That's the thing. It's racketeering. It's this whole big, but what's weird to me is he's the John and they're doing a racketeering case and it's not against the pimp. He wasn't the one pimping these people. He was the John. I've never seen anything like this. And a lot of people, a lot of legal experts are saying the same thing, that they're not understand, like, for a criminal enterprise, where are the other people? Like, they say it's an 8-week trial, but so far, I mean, I don't know. I guess they needed to get Cassie out the way because she's so pregnant. But if it's going to take 8 weeks, I feel like she should have been the last people. They should just let her have the baby and then have her be one of the last to testify. But I guess then she would have used the excuse, I have to feed my baby, I have to nurse. So, I mean, I think they should have let Diddy out and just push back the trial. I think this trial should have been October, November after she had the baby.
They don't say exactly why that they're basically saying they'll need like more days, but they're not giving like an exact reason on or law on why it would be a mistrial if she goes into labor.
Wow.
But that's essentially what they're saying. If she goes into labor, it's going to be a mistrial. The hours long testimony have clearly taken a toll on Ventura, who is currently 8 months pregnant. So yeah, not sure why, but I guess that's something that's on Diddy's side.
Yeah, because the 3 people that have testified so far is Israel Flores, a former security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel, which was the video where we saw he beat her up. Daniel Phillip, who told jurors he was a escort, and now Ventura. So we're predicting that the next will be Danity Kane members. Who else do you think will be named or potentially interviewed?
You're most likely going to have the security. You're mostly likely going to have the maid staff. You're definitely going to have the hotel people, that security guard that we saw in the camera. Kid Cudi could possibly be brought because, he destroyed the vehicle. There isn't people that I know right off the top of my head, but, mostly people associated with Bad Boy or that was at Diddy's properties. I would be looking for the prosecution to just basically build people that were actually there or actually were in acts with Cassie and Diddy.
Facts. Okay, so we are going to play a throwback clip before we wrap up. We're going to play this clip. It was our election party. Shouts out to us. We are celebrating 1 year anniversary. I'm going to play this clip pretty much. This clip was when we did our party. We did a watch party for the election night. So let's watch it and give her a reaction after it. Sorry, wait 1 second. There we go.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine. Today on the new party, we're going to be discussing.
As a former Democrat, I have received so much hate from Black people as I've come out as a conservative than I ever did when I was a Democrat. And there are other people of color that are on this panel that are conservative, and I'm pretty sure they would mimic the same.
Again, how things happen exactly with October 7th, that they were able to do as much as they did for as many hours as they did, is mind-boggling.
How in the world you're Puerto Rican and you're a gay man, and you saying that what Trump says to you is not offensive?
I believe he wants to dismantle it and rebuild it and put the right people in place so they can stop teaching our children about LGBTQ, about sexuality. All this stuff is in their books.
So yeah, guys, we've officially made 1 year. Great. What do you think? I know that's your favorite clip.
Good times. If people didn't know, that's Andre. We call him the hardest working man on TikTok. He's always live. And that was Sandy. He's a comedian, but he talks about politics. But he's a gay Puerto Rican. And he said he never found anything about what Trump said offensive. And this was around the time that comedian made that joke. I don't know his name, where he made a joke about Puerto Ricans. And so I laughed out loud because I thought it was funny. And Nora thought it was appalling. And I'm the Democrat and she's the Republican or independent to the right. So it was funny. So we've had a lot of good times. Thank you, Kent. It was our 1 year anniversary. Like, just looking back at those videos brought back a lot of memories. We put in a lot of work into this.
Yeah, and for those following us on X, I'll be posting a couple videos today to memorialize our 1 year anniversary. So thank you for everyone rocking with us. If you're watching on X or TikTok and you're not already following us on YouTube, what are you waiting for? I'm gonna need you to go to YouTube, type in at the new party, and give us a follow. Also, Nora Christine. If you want to see me alone, you can go give me a follow too. But nonetheless, I will be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Dana from The Real Dana She co-hosts a podcast with Judge Joe Brown. So check us back here tonight at 9 p.m. If you're watching on YouTube, go back to YouTube at The New Party. Come watch us. Come check it out. We will be talking about the 14th Amendment as well as another Diddy update. There's more that I'm sure is coming out. So I'll give my part and my piece there. Gray, what's your closing thoughts for today?
Diddy, you have made yourself infamous. People are going to be talking about you for a very long time. But you started a big conversation with, what goes on in the bedroom, and the Republican Party has been doing that for a long time as well. So these conversations have to be had. And so I like that, the new party is tackling this, and that people are just being open with what's going on. And we're having a conversation on whether this is some type of abuse or if it's not. So hopefully we can come to some kind of conclusion so people know how to act in relationships. And like I always tell the new party, always vote.
Yeah. So I'll just say my closing thoughts are, please give us a like, share, follow. Thank you to the New Party team for the 1-year anniversary we've had. Come back tonight at 9 p.m. And God bless. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you, Dark Kent, for holding it down with us. Shout out to Diddy for content. Yeah, shout out to Diddy for content. Thank you, Diddy. All right, guys. Have a good day. Happy Friday.